So today I'm going to talk to those of you who have a tendency to be too nice. Okay, so niceness is itself is not a bad thing. It's good to be nice, but some of you are out there who think that this is causing a lot of problems in their lives. And you know that what you're doing, what you're being when you're being nice, it is involuntary. When you don't want to be nice to all the people, to all the situations, right? But you still end up doing that. Some of you think it's good to be nice to people because if you are nice to people, then people will be nice to you in return. And some of you know that it's not good to be nice all the time to all the people, but you still end up being nice. You don't know how to control it. The problem is very much relatable, and it happens to a lot of us. Now, we first have to know what is being nice. Now, first we have to understand what is being nice. We all understand it, we all know it. The thing is that niceness is being too pleasant to everyone, too pleasant in a superficial way. I mean, when you interact with someone, you give off a certain energy or certain vibe about you, and you are always too pleasant to everyone in every situations, irrespective of whether this is good in that particular situation or not. So we know that niceness is being pleasant in our attitude, in our behavior, and showing a sense of weakness about us. Now, this is not an alien thing to us because niceness evolved in our society because there was a reason. In earlier days, when there was kings and emperors and people with high authority, they used to dominate their citizens. They used to dominate their subjects. In the council chamber of the kings, all the members had to be nice to the king. They had to bow down their head. They had to talk to in a very polite manner, and they had to be always very much fearful because you never know when the king will be angry and sentence you to death. Similarly, all the citizens and the subjects of that state or kingdom had to be nice to the king, even though they didn't have the opportunity to meet the king physically in most of the time, but they had to be nice to the council members of the king. So, you understand that niceness evolved from these situations when we had to show respect, politeness, and awe to the people of higher authority. And as the civilization evolved, the habit, the tendency, or the genes of being nice, it evolved and it spread. So you see, the need to be nice actually comes from the need to be fearful or respectful or be polite. You can be polite and respectful to your fellow man. You have to be. You have to be respectful for your fellow man. But sometimes being nice is not needed. You can still be respectful and polite to other people without showing your weakness. The root of niceness also comes from the primal societies when men used to live in the caves. I mean, that in during those times, men had to fight with the nature, wild animals, diseases. Even though there were competition among them, they had to have the help of their fellow men to survive. So, from the need of that help, there was kindness. Now, niceness is the refined form of kindness. As the civilization got sophisticated and safe, there was less need from the help of your fellow men. There was less need of the kindness of your fellow men. So, the need of kindness evaporated, but the outer shell, which is niceness, with the front, it stayed. Now we live in a society where everything is abundant, right? You have all the resources. You purchase resources with the exchange of money. So there is a system, give and take. There is a proper channel. So there is a uh, less need of help or kindness because everything has got systematic. Maybe in the primal days, when in your cave you ran out of food, you had to go to your neighbor's cave and ask for if he had any extra, right? Maybe in return, he would ask for some physical labor from you, but still, he had to choose to be kind to you to give you away that food. But these days, everything is systematic. Doesn't matter what person you are, how bad or good you are, you pay the money, you get the food. So there is no need of an explicit help or kindness. So that's why in today's society, kindness has evaporated. It's very much less. There is less need of kindness from others because there is less need of kindness of others to survive. Even though, actually, if you look around in today's world, kindness is the thing that we need more because everything has become a robotic, systemic. We're getting all the resources with exchange of money. We think that it's not needed, but it is very much needed, and I'm going to discuss here why. So, as I discussed, niceness is the front of the kindness. It's like hollow. You can cause harm to someone else with a smiling face. You can wish harm to someone with a smiling face. So that's the hollowness of niceness. Now we come to the point where I discuss how niceness can harm you. Okay, so niceness can harm you in two ways. First, if you are nice to someone or you are overly nice to someone, and if someone is being overly nice to you, in both the cases, there is a chance that you might be targeted. Okay, so if you consider civilization as a physical space, right? A physical space. Civilization is not a physical space. Civilization is a phenomena. But if you consider it a physical space and in the middle of it is the abundant. I mean, with civilization, people become more sophisticated, more educated, more nice, and they interact with each other with smile, and there are less incidents of physical violence, right? When you go to the fringes of that civilization, the sophistication of civilization dilutes. That in the fringes of the civilization, there are people who don't care about it. They may be educated or maybe not, but those people, they still have that primal tendency of preying on the weakness. I mean, we'll all have, even in the core civilized society, we still have that tendency to prey on the weak, but somehow we are restrained because of the laws and all. But in the fringes of civilization, when people, where people don't care about the laws and the human values and all, crime takes place. Crime is a strong thing. I mean, crime is extreme. Before crime, there is cunningness. People will take advantage of you if they see you weak. If you appear weak, I mean, you may be physically weak, doesn't matter. Mentally, you may have vulnerabilities, that doesn't matter. But if you show your weakness, mental or physical, to the people who don't care about law, who don't care about niceness, they will prey on you. So, in the fringes of civilization, when you show niceness, it is interpreted as weakness. For example, in your work, for example, at your work, if you show niceness to your colleagues or your boss, if they have that tendency of preying on the weak, they will prey on you. They will prey on you in a very subtle way, and you won't even realize that. It will cause you long term harm, but you won't even consider it as a harm because you won't even realize. The phenomena is applicable to everywhere in the society, whether it is your office, whether it is your college or school or streets, public transports, doesn't matter. Even at your home, if your niceness is involuntary and you can't help it but be nice to everyone, then it's eventually going to cost you. But the problem is, sometimes we are brought up in an environment where we are taught to be good to people, to be polite to people, to be nice to people. And when the thing is embedded in us, it's very difficult to get rid of it. And it's not a bad thing, right? Think of the chicken. Chicken is nice. A deer is a nice animal. It doesn't harm anybody. But what happens to them? Wild animals prey on them. We prey on them. So there is no point in being nice in situations when where it doesn't get you anything. It's not needed. I mean, today we are not residing in a monarchy. There is no king's rule that you have to bow down your head in front of them. Now, the another thing I mentioned before is when someone is nice to you, that too can be harmful. But you have to understand that people generally don't be, I mean, people who want to prey on you, they are not genuinely nice to you. I mean, when they act as overly nice to you, you have to understand that they want something from you. And that can be very subtle. Take a simple example. Suppose you're traveling by bus and you're sitting on a very comfortable seat, and there are no other seats left, and there comes a lady or someone else who says, will uh, address you as their brother, a son, something like that. And very politely, they will ask you if you can spare this seat for them, as they are feeling uh, maybe dizzy or something like that. They'll be too nice to you, and you won't able to discard them. You won't able to deny them. This is a very simple example, but people can be more ominous. It can be long term. You can deal with people who will be very nice to you to gain long term benefits out of you. And the worst thing you can be towards them is to be nice to them when they are being nice to you. Now, you might think niceness and kindness are both the one same thing, but they're not. They're entirely different thing. As I have discussed before in this video, kindness came from the need of help of your fellow men during the primal society. You had to have the help of your fellow men to be immune to the dangers of society, the dangers of nature, the dangers of wild animals, diseases, hunger. And in today's society, as I mentioned, as everything has got systematic, the need of being kind has gone, apparently. But actually, kindness is very much needed. It is needed because everyone in the society is not of the same level. You might be leading a very comfortable life, but there are people in the society who are not. But it doesn't mean that you have the responsibility for bringing comfort to their life. No, you don't. But it's your choice to be kind to them. Being kind is very easy. I mean, you can be kind to the vegetable vendor by just not bargaining with them. You can be nice to your cab driver by providing the 50 bucks they ask extra of you. You can be kind to that waiter in the restaurant that you last dined. In all those situations that I mentioned just now, you don't have to put up a pleasant smiling face while doing all those things. That's the difference between being nice and being kind. Kindness is all about actions, and niceness is all about your attitude and face and your style of talking and your voice. You can be kind to someone with a grumpy face, but you can harm someone with a nice smiling face. That's the difference between kindness and niceness. Now, in today's world, kindness is required in a much larger scale. If we were talking about standpoint of an individual, right? But if you move on from that, if you move to national level or political level, if the leaders are kind, not to wage wars with the neighbors, people, I mean, the world will be a much better place. But me speaking about this in this video doesn't and won't change anything, I know, but it's just an example of why kindness is needed today. Now, how can you be kind without being nice? I mean, without being too nice. I mean, niceness is not a bad thing, but being too nice or being nice in an inappropriate space is bad. Now the question is how to be kind without being nice. To be kind, you just have to have a mind that has compassion for your fellow human being. Whatever you do, you don't have to be explicitly helpful to others. You don't have to do something like that. You don't have to lend money. You don't have to do physical work for others to be kind. Just have a mindset that your fellow human being is also a human being equal as you. Doesn't matter which section of the society he or she belongs. You have to understand that in your mind. That way, you are being kind to them automatically, because if you have this mindset, your actions will be according to this. When you are using the streets, don't pollute it. When you are using public transport, don't disturb others. Don't be the cause of inconvenience to others. In your office, don't do things that will harm others. To do all these things, you don't have to put up a smiling face. You don't have to beg. You don't have to be overly polite. You don't have to show your weakness to do all these things. You can still have compassion. You can still have kindness for your fellow human being without showing your weakness. You have to know that there is a difference between kindness and foolishness. As I told you, in this world, everyone is trying to prey on the weaker, and you have to know, you have to understand who they are, how they operate, what are their motives, and please don't show unnecessary niceness or kindness to these people, because they are out there to scam you. There are many scammers these days. They're online, offline, in your office, they're coming at your home, in the streets. They are, they will scam you. They will cause harm to you if you don't recognize them and be overly nice or even kind to them. So this video was just to give you an idea of my understanding of the difference between niceness and kindness. This doesn't give you detailed instructions on how not to be nice or how to be kind or how to protect yourself from the people who are preying on nice. This is just a brief discussion for you to let you know my understanding about the difference between niceness and kindness and what you should be. I'm going to come up with more videos on this topic because this is a vast topic and there are many facets to it in my future videos. Till then, take care.